Delilah Ames had spent 75 years being invisible. She was the woman who served the coffee but never drank it, the mother who sold her wedding ring to pay for her son's tuition, and the widow who lived in a cramped, leaky apartment while her son Reggie lived in a 3-story mansion. For 5 years since her husband Jeremiah passed, Delilah lived on an $800 monthly pension. She skipped meals, wore faded clothes, and felt like a burden whenever Reggie handed her a measly $200 gift once a month. She believed her son was a self-made man, a success story she had no right to interrupt with her poverty. The birthday revelation. On her 75th birthday, Reggie insisted on a dinner at his opulent estate. Delilah sat at the head of the marble table, feeling out of place among the crystal glasses and designer decor. Also present was her younger sister, Vivian, a sharp, successful businesswoman who lived states away. Midway through the meal, Vivian leaned in. "So, Delilah," she said casually, "are you enjoying your $500,000 trust fund?" The room went ice cold. Long pause. Delilah's fork hit the plate. "What trust fund?" she whispered. Reggie's face turned the color of ash. His wife, Chelsea, suddenly stood up and bolted for the bathroom. Vivian's expression shifted from warmth to corporate steel. She turned to Reggie. "What did you do with the money?" The truth came crashing down. Long pause. Vivian had been a witness when Jeremiah signed an irrevocable trust for Delilah. It wasn't just a small pension. It was $500,000, meant to provide Delilah with $4,000 every single month for the rest of her life. Reggie, named as the administrator, had lied to his mother, told her there were debts to pay and that the family home had to be sold to cover them. In reality, he took the proceeds from the house, the life insurance, and the savings to buy his mansion, his luxury SUVs, and his children's private schooling. For 5 years, Delilah had been counting pennies for bread, while her son lived like a king on her stolen inheritance. The confrontation. Tense and sharp like a courtroom drama. Vivian called the family lawyer, Elias Carter, who arrived that same night with the documents. He confirmed the betrayal. Reggie had emptied the accounts, leaving only $30,000 of the original $500,000. "Mama, I invested it for the family," Reggie pleaded, his voice whiny and desperate. "I thought I could make it grow." Delilah stood up. For the first time in 75 years, she didn't swallow her anger. "Which family, Reggie? The one where you let your mother go hungry? You didn't just steal my money, you stole my dignity. You made me feel like a beggar at your table when the table was bought with my money." The terms of justice. Delilah didn't choose the path of the long-suffering mother this time. With Vivian and the lawyer by her side, she gave Reggie an ultimatum. 1, liquidate everything. 2, legal restitution. And 3, the truth. "Sign the agreement," Delilah said, pushing the papers toward him, "or face criminal charges for elder abuse and embezzlement." Reggie signed with trembling hands. 6 months later, Delilah sat on the balcony of her new apartment. It wasn't a mansion, but it was bright, clean, and, most importantly, hers. She drank expensive, freshly ground coffee, a hobby she never allowed herself before. She didn't talk to Reggie much anymore. He was busy working a regular job and living in a small rental to pay back his debt. Delilah didn't feel victorious, but she felt peace. She started a support group at the community center, helping other elderly women find their voices and protect their rights. At 75, Delilah finally learned the most important lesson of her life. Being a good mother doesn't mean being a mat for your children to wipe their feet on. The silence was no longer heavy. It was finally free.